Take two.
I'm just waiting.
Well, if you're just tuning into this one, we attempted to do take one and it lasted like 12 seconds. So my phone like kind of gave us a fit.
Yeah, I can't see it yet, so it hasn't popped up on my screen, but go ahead.
All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Tuesday, October the 20th, 2020, and we are 1 day away from a year anniversary from my injury, so I'm really excited about that, and I was medically cleared yesterday to get back at it 100%. So,
Yes.
Ready to roll.
Good job.
All right, hopefully everybody's doing well. Please like, share, and subscribe. That means a lot to us. Excuse our setting. Again, if you follow the channel, we had a hurricane hit, so we're displaced for a little while, so we're kind of shuffling around where we're doing this.
Alrighty.
All right, so
And hitchhikers on.
all right, we got one. Sorry, we planned it, and then the video we started, and it cut off after 12 seconds. All right, so I wrote down like 10 topics or 10 headlines that I saw over the past 2 days, or we saw, and we're going to go through them in really no particular order. In other words, we're not saving the best for last per se. I just kind of jotted them down over the past 2 days.
Yep.
All right.
Hit the likes, guys. What's up, Ethan?
We
I didn't get to finish all of it.
But
so.
we listened to your podcast.
Yeah. Ethan DA, put your podcast on the thing so they can see it. Ethan DA, as many of you guys know, he makes a lot of comments on our videos, and I think it's pretty knowledgeable about tennis. Don't you?
I thought it was great. I mean, we honestly,
Who's the other person that's with you?
we listened to about eight or 9 minutes.
Yeah,
but-
who's the other person that's with you? Getting married on Thursday. You guys are great stress reliever. Congratulations.
Let's go.
Congratulations. Make sure that there's a lot of patience. Be patient with each other. What else?
Just hold
If you
on.
fight hard. And if you love hard.
There you go. It's interesting. I've never kind of heard that. Fight hard.
Because I think the love is stronger if you fight harder.
I don't like to fight at all. I just keep my mouth shut.
But when he fights, he fights.
But I keep my mouth shut. You learn to just keep your mouth shut, and it'll be all
No,
right.
that's not true, because if you keep your mouth shut, then it'll pile up and then it'll blow up the wrong way. So I say, if you're pissed, you say it and then you get over it.
All right. I just still like to keep my mouth shut. It works out better if you just keep your mouth shut. Just say you're right. You're good. Everything's right. You're right. And just I'm sorry no matter what. It'll be better.
Okay. Well,
All right, so topic number one really doesn't have anything to do with the game of tennis, but I thought it took A, a lot of courage, B, some really interesting skills, if not biological skills. I don't know how else to put it. So there was an article that Carla showed me or sent to me really early in the morning. I think it was 2 days ago. She was like, check this out. I'm like, what? Anyway, there was a person that was smuggling gold into an airport, and he chose a specific way to smuggle this gold. He was shoving bars of gold in his anus, in his ass. So Carla took a picture of not the dude and not that, but the gold bars that they took out.
about 2 pounds. They said.
2 pounds of gold bars.
He was walking weird. They saw him kind of walking weird on the airport. This was in India. And they saw him kind of walking really weird.
Hey, why is that guy walking so stiff?
No, so they decided to stop him.
All right.
So should I show him the picture?
Yeah, show him the pictures of the absolute hugeness of these gold bars. And you got to tip your hat to the dude for trying to pull this off. No wonder why he was walking weird, right?
True.
Holy cow! I don't know how you would not break your spine or something.
There it is.
Check this out, man. I mean, it's interesting.
Oh. Hold on. There it is. There's the bars.
Damn.
Look at that. He had all that up his butt.
Talking like a toothpick. I'm good. Hey, sir, you okay? No, man, I'm good. I know the problem here. Like, you need to come.
Hitchhiker said that's a common way to smuggle. Nemajan said, "Oh my God."
Oh, can we?
Hitchhiker said, "Rampant in prison."
Could you imagine how he's walking? He's probably like, you know what I mean?
Bro, that had to hurt. That was hard.
Is that how he's doing the
I
walk?
certainly hope they sanitize those bars before confiscating. I don't know. There had to be a better method to that. I mean,
Yeah, it's a whole lot of gold.
yeah. And then there was some other guy that was walking weird, but they did not want to say what was up his rectum.
Oh, he had something else. So he had an accomplice.
Yeah.
There was two dudes with large things in their butt,
Oh,
and they didn't want to tell you what was in the other one's butt. All right.
Is the guy a gay porn star? Maybe I know of him. No, I don't think so. I think it was just they smuggled.
Yeah.
Maybe they just,
Let's go.
That's just their way of smuggling things.
Oh, that was funny.
What's up, Teen Gross?
That made my belly
You know,
laugh.
so I've heard in Colombia where the guys they wrap the cocaine in plastic and then they put it in their
Stick it up their butt.
Yeah. So and girls do the same thing.
But I think that stuff can rupture. It can kill you.
Yeah, and that's why many of them have landed in the United States and they're like, oh, and then they die.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you choose? Gold bars or a bag of cocaine? If you, holy shit, I'm out. I will kill you if you don't take the gold up the butt or the cocaine up the butt, or you die. Choose one. Which one do you choose?
I don't know.
All right, second topic. That's enough of that.
Yes,
one.
I know FAA lost the finals. I know. We'll talk about that later on.
All right.
He loses finals all the time.
These topics are in no particular order. End the tennis. Enough of that. That was fun though. The first thing I wrote down is, and this was about 2 or 3 days after our last show, or it was 2 days ago, a day after our last show, and there was a headline that I came across that Rafael Nadal made a true sportsmanship statement. And I read it, and I would agree with that flavor. And I'll give you a couple of nuggets about what he said and what the journalist was asking him that spawned him to say this. So a journalist asked Rafael Nadal what he thought about now being tied for as the journalist indicated, the greatest of all time, because we mark the greatest of all time by numbers of majors. This is what the journalist or the reporter is alluding to. And what do you think, Nadal, about the record now being 2020, Djokovic at 17, whatever? So Rafael Nadal indicated that he didn't particularly care that much about the record. He said where he was at in his career, he was perfectly happy. If his career ended today or yesterday or a week before the French Open, it wouldn't have mattered to him. He said he's very happy with his marriage or his life and with his team. And said that, there's a new chapter in his life that he's already, I guess he has some affiliation with his academy.
Right.
So there's already a next chapter to his life that he is I guess undertaking. He did make reference to that it was to everyone asking him these questions. He was saying to the lot of them that our team and I decided to skip the U.S. Open and play the French Open. He said that was a huge gamble for his whole team because if they would have lost the French Open, then everyone would have scrutinized him. They would have had everything under the sun to throw at us for being, snooty and skipping this and skipping that if he would have lost.
Right.
But because it worked out for him and he won the French Open, that everyone is like, okay, that's genius. But he said that was a very stressful time for his team, for himself, for everyone, because it was a huge gamble. So he wanted to make that clear. He didn't skip it because he didn't want to go to the U.S. It was more about just staying stable and putting everything into the French, which could have been trouble, he was indicating, because he didn't have a lot of matches. So he had Rome, lost to Schwartzman, and then boom, the French. So it was a gamble. He said as far as records are concerned, he doesn't care that much about them. He did indicate that now I am tied for the marker of greatest of all time because that is the marker in terms of the general public who may not be the biggest tennis fan, but they are looking up, hey, who's the best tennis player? They go to look at slam counts.
Right.
So Nadal concurred with that and indicated that he is glad to be one of the best to ever. Now this obviously upset a lot of Djokovic fans, and rightfully so, and we'll get into those head-to-heads in a minute because it's quite impressive for Djokovic, and that's another topic. But he said he looks forward to seeing what Roger is going to do moving forward next year. Now, Roger Federer has still not indicated that he is going to play the 2021 Australian Open.
Right.
He is still up in the air there, so it seems to me he's going to be waiting for Wimbledon. Maybe he's going to play the Olympics in 20.
He should be smart about it. I mean, he's getting older, and maybe he thinks that he doesn't have a shot. Maybe he thinks he'll get as lucky as Rafa did. What's up?
I was just looking.
Oh, that he's getting lucky as Rafa, and maybe he'll win Wimbledon. Like, Rafa owns French Open, and, well, Federer has more titles than Djokovic at Wimbledon. So maybe he thinks he has a better shot there, knowing that Djokovic is dominant at the Australian Open.
Concur.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of those type gambles. I don't particularly think he'll win Wimbledon simply because of his age. I don't know if he can excel on that fast surface as he dominated for so long. I don't know if he still has that extra step and that extra quickness, but we'll see. But all in all, I thought Nadal made a really good, kind of straightforward statement, and there wasn't a lot of egotistical talk. I thought it was a good statement.
Yeah.
All right, topic number 2, Naomi Osaka. So Naomi Osaka, as you all know, is a 3-time major champion. She started very young, and we coach kids. Carl and I do, and we coach a lot of kids. And we always try to tell other parents and other people that we meet that put all this emphasis on what they're doing in their junior careers or in junior tournaments and so forth, and how if their kid doesn't look great at 10, 11, 12, they probably have no chance to be great a little bit later on. So, Serena Williams and Venus Williams, they didn't play juniors, whatever. This really doesn't have to do with that. This has to do with the structure of the young player, and how it's not always a telltale sign if you're not super fit at 8, 9, 10, 11 that you can't be a major champion. So I came across this picture of Naomi Osaka when she was very young. Do you have the picture?
Yeah.
So this is a picture of young Osaka out training at a very young age. And again, check out the picture. I love the picture.
You wouldn't think she's a tennis player now, huh? I mean, look at her.
So I see it as a beautiful, beautiful picture. When we've coached for a very long time, 22 years, and she's been coaching with me on court for almost 11. There's a lot of children that we see at this type of age, and whether it's super skinny or if it's not super skinny, we watch them develop into young adults, and then we generally help them try to find where they want to go to school or college and what have you. But what goes on at this age means absolutely zero if you begin to work at it and plod along every day, whether it's health, diet, fitness, hitting tennis balls. The more balls you hit, even if you're bored with it, the more balls you hit, the more balls you serve, the more ups you do, the more downs you do, the more spin ups and working on the backhand. Just right here, you don't have to go in. You can get a ping pong paddle and do it. You can just sit here and bounce the ping pong ball. I mean, it'll help you with tennis just like anything else. It's muscle memory. You're trying to build memory. So if you just plod along at it, good things happen. So what happens to Naomi Osaka moving forward? She worked, she plodded along. She obviously had great parents involved. Can you show us the picture here recently with her on a vacation? And she was now grown woman, three-time major champion, and hard work now looks like this. Truly a great picture. She deserves she's had some moments with this boyfriend. I won't get into that. I got nailed for that. We make young mistakes when we're naive, but to go from what you saw in that picture now to a 3-time major champion, and now on a beautiful beach with an absolutely amazing, fit-looking figure. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah.
She looks absolutely
amazing. I don't think junior really matters too much. There's so many good junior players, and then they get burned out.
Yeah, they get burnt out, or the parents get burned out, or
juniors really means nothing. How many of these juniors we've seen win a junior U.S. Open, Wimbledon, French, Australian, and do nothing?
I can name a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just because you're Ricardo Barranquez.
Where are you going with this? Are you talking to us or to the guys that are talking about the Wimbledon, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal thing? I don't know if Hitchhiker's talking to us. If you are, meaning that junior tennis doesn't matter. You could be a champion.
And if you work hard from a very young age and you do the best that you can do every day and genuinely look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did my best, then you can look.
Meaning, don't judge a kid. Don't look at a kid and say, oh, that kid will never be anything because
she's chunky here.
Or that person's too skinny, or that person's too little, or they're not talented enough. You just never know.
And furthermore, if you just find something and stick with it and don't quit and proceed to do your best in it every day, then you'll go from picture A to picture B with 3 major trophies under your belt.
Yeah.
and counting.
Correct.
That's the moral of the story if the question was for us.
It was for us, yeah.
That's cool, no problem. All right, next quick nugget. Iga Swiatek's recent success winning the French Open has led to a new kind of economic debate in Poland, whether or not they should contribute more to promoting tennis within their, kind of boundaries, borders, should they put more into the game. Now, we know that, we can name some Polish players. Radzwanska was a Polish player. Magda Linette is a Polish player. Lukas Kubat is a Polish player. Hurkacz is a Polish player. Jerzy Janowicz was a Polish player. Now, he made it to the boys' junior U.S. Open final in 2007 and kind of stepped on the scene for a little while. I think he had some injury issues and kind of bailed out. But Jerzy Janowicz was another one. But Iga Swiatek seems to be a more hit you in the face, like this girl is really great. Maybe some of these players are good. Maybe they didn't feel that they were country rejuvenating, but it seems to me Iga Swiatek is drawing.
Well, because she just won a Grand Slam. None of those won a Grand Slam. That's the reason why. And probably her catch will never win one, so yeah.
No,
he'll never win one.
All right, well, I can agree with you. You can't say for sure.
Nah, he'll never win one.
All right, well, we'll see. Good job again for her. Next up, Amanda Anisimova has a boyfriend. I always give grief to the young girls that end up in relationships when their careers are just taking off and just becoming, are coming into their fruition as a dominant tennis player, because it takes focus away. Let's take a look at the picture of Anisimova and her boyfriend. Great looking couple, no problem there. I think he's a football or soccer player rather, and like a model. But again, if you are a tennis player and tennis players are a little different mentally if you're going to be great. They're a little different because they're always focused. So good picture, right?
I think that she needs someone in her life.
Because the dad died?
She lost her dad. She's 19. She's got money. The guy's 24. Doesn't mean she's going to get married. You need that distraction. For her, the distraction is good right now.
Well, from a psychological perspective, off the court, yes. But from a psychological point, on the court, you're going to lose focus in practice because you're going to wonder what they are doing. You're going to lose focus in practice when they give you a text message with hearts. You're going to lose focus in practice when you take a trip to the beach to take that picture. As a tennis player at the very highest level is different. They're not like the majority of people. They are much more focused on everything, every detail. They're very specific in their regimens if they make it to the highest level. That's, again, I always give the college level players that are U.S., the U.S. 18-year-old juniors moving into the college ranks, I always give them grief because of this very thing. They're easily distracted, and the best tennis players in the world are very precise, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to become very dialed in precise when you are not getting that pounded in your head every day, and now you have these distractions, especially when you're 19. Now, if you're Novak Djokovic...
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, yeah, especially girls, we're stupid. As far as falling in love, that's all we think about, and that's it, and it's hard to focus on something else. Guys are a little bit different with that. Unless they're older men that are...
still for
Unless
me,
they're older men and they're like smitten by a younger girl or something.
Good word, smitten.
But a young girl, when they tend to fall in love, they kind of forget about everything else.
Yeah, it's just, and same thing for a young man. I mean, a 24-year-old, I think her boyfriend's 24, so he's
a model.
So he's 5 years her senior.
Yeah.
So even I'm assuming even him, or even he would, be thinking about her, and then vice versa. But he's a model, so. And I think like a minor league soccer player, not that minor league, major league, whatever, but he's not going to be as much focused on her, I wouldn't think, as she would be on him. 5 years, 19-year-old, just lost a dad, like you said. Mm-hmm. And here's the guy that's a model that's sure been around a little bit,
I hope she continues with her tennis career, because if not, that time will pass her.
It'll pass her quickly.
Yeah, because there's always somebody hungry.
Yeah, in other words, if you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of promise with her for American tennis, so I think we talk about Coco Gauff a lot more than we do about Amanda Anisimova now.
Is Coco Gauff better than Amanda Anisimova right now?
I don't know. Amanda Anisimova used to beat her in the junior.
If Amanda Anisimova and Coco Gauff played tomorrow on a hard court, or any court for that matter, who would win?
Not sure. I'm not sure, because I feel like her game after her dad passed away has kind of gone down.
Yes.
It's not the same. She doesn't have the mental attitude she used to have before. I don't feel like she's really hungry. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an energy shift, but again, her dad passing was very recent. So you can give her a window of kind of an excuse window. Not, I hate to even say excuse, a tragic excuse. You know what I'm saying?
Daryl says, Connors and Everett worked for a little while. They did for a little while. They both won the 1974 Wimbledon.
I think they're the only couple in tennis history, correct me if I'm wrong, that shared major titles
They
in the
shared
same
major
place.
titles. They also had a bad relationship. Don't want to go into details with that.
It was nice at first, but there was friction later, just like a lot of other high-profile tennis relationships over the years.
Gene says Anisimova made the French Open semifinals last year, but that was last year. Exactly, that was last year. Wasn't that before her dad passed away? He passed away at the U.S. Open, before the U.S. Open started last year. So it changed everything for her. Her game just isn't. She tried working with Justine Henon's ex-coach, Carlos Rodriguez, and it didn't work out. And that guy's a good coach. I consider him a very good coach.
With 5 children of my own.
You need to do ping pong match on the live, guys.
Can they see it?
I suck.
Play me a point. Can they see it?
Gosh,
Play me a
I'm
point.
not good at this.
Let's go. Come on.
Who is more talented, Sinner or FAA?
All right, let's go, Carla.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm going to whip your ass.
I can't play ping pong. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I can.
I can't.
Beating your ass.
I don't even know how to serve the right way.
All right, ready?
All right.
Go. B, I, N, G. Go.
It was out, by the way.
All right, so it's your serve.
Isn't there a rule of serving?
Yeah, just serve it your way. 1-0.
Okay. So I have to serve it cross court now?
Wait, no, you serve it. 2-0. My serve.
Oh gosh. So I sliced too much. I should hit the ball.
3-0.
Okay. Jeez. All right, enough of that.
I got a ball.
Last one.
4-0. Or 4-1. All right, last point. Last one. Go.
All right.
All right.
I'm done.
Enough.
I don't like this game.
All right. Enough of that one. All right. So Anisimova, by the way, as a 19-year-old, she's still a baby, and I have to shift the camera.
Check out Pongfinity channel on YouTube. I will. I'm not very good at ping pong. Better, much better, a million times better on the tennis court. Justin goes for the big swings. Yeah, he does.
I like that.
Yes.
A 19-year-old is still a baby.
Mm-hmm.
A distraction is a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic, her father passed away. Tragic.
Yeah.
Absolutely no joke. However, with that said, in the game falling a little bit, I think a relationship helps her emotionally.
Sure.
But I think it is a distraction from the game if your goal is to be the best. That was amazing. A huge eagle just flew by that window, like right by it. That was cool.
All right.
It's a distraction. I don't see her game on the major upswing moving forward, at least for the short term.
Okay.
All right. Next topic. Did Roger Federer snub? And I read.
Hold on before you go to that comment. Jack Nolte says on YouTube, I was told Maria Sharapova was more successful than Serena. Like maybe better looking. Like what sort of observed comment was this? We hear that all the time, actually.
I don't even think as a sponsor she's more successful than Serena Williams. Maybe.
No, she is.
Sharapova is.
She makes more money than Serena does.
I have another topic is the highest.
She makes
paid
more
tennis
money.
players.
She did at one point.
She did, I think, by sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
But not successfully in tennis, on tennis court. Successfully, yes, because she's blonde, she's tall, and she's light skinned.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but that's reality. That's why Serena doesn't fit the typical body that you want to model your clothes or do commercials. You know, for some people, she might be too manly.
I do hear that she is a really good businesswoman,
She is.
Sharapova.
Yeah,
I've
both
heard-
of them are.
I've heard that she is very, very spot on in business, and she can run a business well. I think she has some type of candy now, like
I wouldn't buy it. We looked at how much sugar it had.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's crazy, and it's like a little bar. It's like half the size of this, and they charge you as
Like
much as a
$3
big
or
bar.
something, yeah.
I'm like, I don't think so.
As far as success on the tennis court, that's a joke.
Lars said Osaka earned 37.4 million the last 12 months, new record.
I have that written down. Let's see if our number hit. I won't get into that yet, but let's see if our number hit. Osaka, 37.4.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Who said that?
That's Lars.
See, Lars, I had that right there. Osaka, 37.4.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Wayne and Chase, I used to love eating sugar pova candies.
Sugar Pova, see?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I actually sell some of Serena Williams, ladies, not tennis clothes, but dress-up clothes, and I think she's pretty affordable for most people.
Yeah, you had a couple of her things.
Yeah, and she's affordable. I watch her on QVC.
You watched that?
Yeah. Well, I watch when they come up to Serena. I want to see how she talks, how she presents her stuff, and she does it professionally. She does very well.
Yeah. Sharapova, I do hear, is an elite businesswoman. In other words, she can control the room when needing to address anything in a business setting. I hear she's very good at it. All right, so next, this was a headline I read. And the headline I read was, did Roger Federer snub, or kind of diss, did Roger Federer snub Novak Djokovic by not mentioning him after Nadal won his 13th French Open? Federer released a statement right after that. The statement was, was fine. I didn't read too much into it when I was reading this, but his statement, and then when I thought about it, I read the article at first, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't really see the big deal. And then I had to say, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, it is a snub. All right, so Federer congratulated Nadal by saying things such as, congratulations, my friend. I like to call him his boyfriend, but anyway, congratulating my friend Rafael Nadal on his 13th major. He's always been 13th French Open. He's always been a really good friend of mine, and he and I are the greatest rival in men's tennis. Now, we know prior to this occurring that Novak Djokovic had indicated he spoke too quickly and indicated that Nadal and he, being Novak Djokovic, their rivalry was the best in all of tennis. And Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert chimed in and were like, hey, Bozo, if you were smarter, you would know that Chris Evert and I met 80 times. So you remember this whole...
Yes, we remember.
Okay, so you remember that. Happened. Okay, so Roger Federer, after that, said that, and this is Federer being quoted, that he and Nadal's rivalry was the greatest in men's tennis history. Now, mind you, Nadal and Roger Federer have met 40 times. What is that, 40? 40 times. Mm-hmm. Nadal has won 24, Federer has won 16. So Nadal is up 24-16. Now, Federer and Djokovic met 50 times. Federer has 23 wins to Djokovic's 27. So Djokovic is up by 4, 27-23. Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic have met 56 times, and Novak Djokovic holds a 29-27 edge. Mm-hmm. So yes, we know this. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but Djokovic has beat them all more times than they have beat him.
So he just said, well, Blind Fury said, why does he have to mention Novak? It's
okay.
Nadal's achievement that will take the limelight.
And I agree with that's how I read it the first time. Mm-hmm. So what you're asking here is how I read it the first time. And I'm like, why does this freaking matter? I'm like, just chill. I mean, what the hell? But then I'm thinking about it. And this has nothing to do for me about necessarily because Novak Djokovic has 17 majors. Just say if it was any human being that made it to the French Open final. Forget about it being just Djokovic. When you make it to a major final, it's a big freaking deal. It's a freaking big deal for both players out there. I mean, it's a big deal to make it to the second round, but to win, or to be the runner-up, it is a dream for any tennis player. And Federer didn't even mention, hey, congratulations to, or I'm so glad my boyfriend or my dearest friend, whatever. I'm exaggerating.
Gene says something about that.
But he should have at least said, and congratulations to his opponent. Forget about it being Novak Djokovic.
Let's get real. Come on now. We all know Federer does not like Djokovic. Let's all be real.
But to not mention him.
Who cares?
Oh,
I mean, I don't. Who cares?
But
Djokovic said in a press conference that he thought the best rivalry was him and Nadal. He didn't mention that Federer.
Okay, can I ask you a question? And this is a.
If I don't like someone, I won't mention them.
Okay, forget about that.
Yeah.
Let's say you and I met at a major final.
Okay.
I'm just put yourself in that context for a minute. Follow me. So. Think about this emotionally. Say you had been at a tournament for 2 weeks, and you played me in a final, if that could happen, and you worked so hard. You get to the final after 2. You know how hard it is to play 1 good match, much less 7.
Sure.
You make it to that. You're just drained, tired, and let's say you lost. Okay, however, okay, after the tournament, the trophy presentation, everything else. Now, every article after that had to do with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. No one was even talking about the fact, hey, congratulations to Novak, or forget it was him. Let's just say he was playing John Doe. How would you feel if you were the John Doe here, you playing me, and I was getting all the limelight in every article, but no one ever mentioned, and congratulations to Carla for being here. It seemed like the world
I'm going to put it to you.
Not just Federer.
First place. What do we remember always? The champion.
But don't you deserve some congratulations?
No. There is no second place. There is no second place in life. There isn't. How many times can you say in this tournament, I remember the runner-up? No. I disagree with you.
But that's not the...
It's not a snub. Who cares? The guy just reached 20 and tie him. Of course he's just going to say Rafael Nadal. It was a big thing. A big thing. He tied him. Let me read some of these comments. Wayne Chia says, Fed usually does not congratulate others, but he knew many would be asking him about Rafa getting to 20, so he probably decided to get it out first. Gene says, I remember in a press conference one time a reporter asked about his relationship with Fed, not sure what the exact question, and Rafa replied, I don't want to make it sound like I'm his boyfriend. Jack Nolte says, OFFs talk about getting offended easy, so what Federer didn't mention, this is media overload, and they are blamed for half of it. And Gene says Novak got big on the finals, so that doesn't help him either.
I mean, look, has anyone ever heard of morals? I mean,
Gregor's asked, do you think Fed will mention Novak if he reaches 20? He should. If he ties him, he should. I agree with that.
But, I mean, that's a good question, too, because look, I've played this game my entire life, was born into it. My father played it his entire life, and he's 82. You've played it your entire life. Your father's played. I've never in my life heard of not mentioning or at least congratulating.
Why are you taking it so personal?
Well, okay, I'm not taking it personally. All I'm saying, there is, I think, a moral and a duty to be a good sportsman. Am I right or wrong?
Again, I don't think he was thinking about Djokovic. We know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't care, really. But I'm just saying, he wasn't thinking about Djokovic, obviously. He doesn't get along with him. It's not his best buddy. He would have preferred to see Nadal there than the other guy.
Okay.
Plus, it wasn't a great match. It just wasn't.
Okay. However, the interesting thing is Marian Vajda, that is Djokovic's longtime coach since he was very young, at the same point in time, sent a message congratulating Nadal. So if someone from the Djokovic camp can congratulate Nadal, then how is it that...
Well, Fed didn't play him.
Anyway, I think there's a such thing as morals. I think there's a such thing as etiquette. I think there's a such thing as gentility. And I think there's a such thing as humility. And I think there's a such thing as sportsmanship. The lack of...
Jack Nolte said doesn't mean Federer has bad sportsmanship.
No, but I think it was either shot from the hip and he wasn't really thinking. I think he probably wrote that one and not his publicist. I would think that Federer would say something like, congratulations, Nadal, Djokovic, you played a great tournament. And you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't owe him that. Philip says, how many Grand Slam finals has Novak been to? It's expected for him to get there. It's no big deal for Novak to get to a final. It might be different if it was someone's first final.
Okay.
You said it well.
Okay, that's
Again,
a good point.
I don't see what the big deal is. How many times you've played a tournament in your life? Do you remember if you beat someone in a tournament, won the trophy? I don't.
Yeah, I guess you don't remember.
There is no freaking second place. Just saying. We
know.
only remember. We don't say, but that guy could have been the GOAT because he was a finalist 20 times. You don't come on, man. You don't remember that. Who cares?
Oddly enough, oddly enough, it seemed like Federer and Nadal got more discussion post the French Open, and Djokovic was actually playing. It's just, again, it's just.
Being said, and me, in the moment, you can't say anything because you're not thinking straight.
True. Good point.
And again, the reason why they were talking about Federer and Nadal is because both guys have what? 2-0. That's why.
So
if Djokovic would have had 2-0, then they'd be talking about him too.
So the discussion now, it seems, has gone to, it's after the one tournament, it seems like it's not even the big three anymore. It's like back to the big two, because Federer and Nadal are tied at the number. It just seems like, to me, Djokovic is still looking for a little bit of respect. It just seems to me that way. It seems like he'll never be part of that. It's just, it's weird.
I think it's messed up because Djokovic deserves the utmost respect. 17 is no joke. That is no joke. And he's only 32, right? 32, 33. So he's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But again, the media loves, and we've proven this before, Federer and Nadal. Djokovic has always been the guy behind them. He has to pass their slams for people to shut up and give him all the respect he deserves.
I mean, yes.
Unfortunately for him, it sucks for him. I mean, if I put myself in his shoes, geez, I'd be a little angry.
I would be too.
You know, it makes me want to fight harder.
You have to get emotional over that.
You definitely have to get emotional.
I mean, it's enough is enough.
Yes,
You're like,
yes.
You have to wake up in the morning. You know, he helps kids in the street. He's a pretty emotional and genuine guy. And after so many years of just owning them, but yet to the world stage, you're just second place when he's really first place. But again, it's more of people like these guys because of their image and not necessarily their game.
So Blind Fury says, when Novak gets 20 slams, Fed will congratulate him. I bet you.
Oh.
If he gets to the 20.
All right.
Yes. Media hates Novak. Yeah, we all know this. I mean, when we started this show, people used to like threaten me. They used to say, you're a hater, you're this, you're that, because I used to say, Federer and Nadal, and I'll still say it, they are loved. Where Novak, you know, no, I don't think so.
He's a good, genuine guy.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. From when you read the media and stuff, even the pictures they put up of him, it's never a smile. It's always like, it's always a bad picture. You see Fed's pictures, he's always like, and then you see Nadal, it's always perfect.
You know,
I mean,
it kind of turns into a sad thing if you think about it. It emotionally, in terms of if you could put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah, definitely.
It would hurt.
Hey, I'm there in his shoes anyways.
Maybe you talk smack about
We're in his shoes anyways. We are. Philip says there's always drama with Novak. It's hard for people to like him like they do Fed and Nadal. Yeah. Yeah. John Narty says Novak will have more slams than Federer, but less than Nadal. Time will tell.
Who? Read that one again.
John Narty says Novak will have more slams than Federer, but less than Nadal.
Good point. Nadal can win 3 or 4
Michael
more.
Walker says my brother thinks Nadal looks really mean. I don't think so. I've had quite a few students that have told me they've met him in person, and they said he's a really, really nice guy. He stays there. We had one of our juniors tell us he stayed there till he signed everyone's autograph.
Who?
Nadal.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think what you see is what you get.
I
think Fed might have more of that meanness than Nadal would.
Well, Federer, if you get into total fans and you can look at their different media accounts, I really don't look at it too much. I've read about them, but Federer really outdoes everyone in terms of the entourage of fans that want to be around him. Federer takes the cake there. So, you know, Federer, I think, is worth, and I have the highest.
I think he's more marketable.
Yeah, he's
more marketable.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, that's it. His brand, that RF, has become something ridiculous.
Well, what better to see?
It's like the LeBron sign. Yeah, everybody wants to wear it. I mean, LeBron, Jordan. Everybody wants to have the Jordan hat, Jordan shirt, the Jordan shoes. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, what better than to see Tom Brady or Roger Federer sitting in a AMG Mercedes with the door up, with a Rolex, with a beautiful sweater on, with the smile like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's
just, I don't know. He's got the elegance To
Yeah.
me, Federer has the elegance where Nadal, you can see him as the fighter, and to me, Djokovic is like he's a war. To me, I see him as a warrior, someone that has to fight for the rights of people. You know, that's
Beastie Boys. You just went Beastie Boys on us. Did you just go Beastie Boys?
Oh, I didn't realize.
You gotta fight.
That's how I look at him.
Okay, so this is going to take us into the next topic, which is still involves these guys in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Carla a picture of the watch. Now, during the French Open, I mentioned about 3 or 4 times Rafael Nadal's watch. Now, this has to do with marketability. I mentioned Rafael Nadal's watch. I showed pictures of it and so forth. And this Richard Mille watch. So it's worth $1.05 million.
Only 50 made.
Only 50 were made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And on the other hand, Djokovic is sponsored by another watch. So Djokovic's watch is a Seiko, and I'm going to mention both, and I'm going to show you the differences here. The Richard Mille watch, Rafa Nadal version, with the number RM, that's Romeo Mike 27-04, and it's called the Richard Mille RM 2704 Tourbillon Rafa Nadal. There was only 50 of them made. That is what, 14? What's 50? 50.
Mm-hmm.
Still learning that Espanol. There was 50 of them made, and you can buy one of them for a cool 1.05
Man, screw
million.
that shit.
Now,
I can do a lot more with that.
Do you have a picture of the watch?
Yes.
$1.05 million for this thing. Looks like a G-Shock watch.
That looks like something you get at a toy box.
$1.05
That's the front.
million. Okay,
That's
now,
the back.
there you go. I like that preparation right there.
Ooh.
Ooh, let's get down. Now, stay. Watch the leg of the
Yeah, I
tripod.
see it. I feel it.
That's B-Dog's tripod. You want to break that.
And then Djokovic, right?
Okay, so let me tell you the Djokovic. You can go ahead and show it to him. The Novak Djokovic watch is a Seiko Astron GPS Solar. That's Golf Papa Sierra. Astron GPS Solar by Seiko, and you can get it. You can get it
29.
for $2,400. So you can get Djokovic's watch for $2,400, which is still a damn expensive watch. Holy shit! Would you buy a $2,000
No,
watch?
I wouldn't. I mean, that shit better have diamonds.
Better be
that
like
shit better
that.
be like bling, bling, bling everywhere.
Look at you and shoot you or something.
I mean, I think Federer's watch is better. It's got diamonds. I mean, you want diamonds around it for that much.
Yeah, no, I
Holy crap.
Federer usually has a Rolex watch, which Rolex can get quite expensive, but it's not going to be $1.05 million. Damn.
First of all, I would never spend the most I've spent on a watch. The most.
So
What's the most you spent on a watch?
honestly, like 650. But I sold it because I felt guilty wearing it.
The most I've spent, I don't know. I love Movado. That's like, I love that brand, and I think my watch was about close as yours. And I put it in a pawn shop, and I got nothing for it.
It had bad energy behind
It
it.
had bad energy behind
There was
it.
bad energy behind the watch.
So I put it in a pawn shop. I think they gave me $50. I was like, cool.
See ya. Get that out of here. Anyway, hence the marketability though. It's not even close. $1 million, $1.05 million compared to $2,400.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. It's not even close. All right, the 10 highest paid tennis players currently in the world. Number 10, Simona Halep. She made in the past 12 months, $10.9 million. Simona Halep. Pretty good.
That's good.
Number 9, Dominic Thiem at $11.1 million. Number 8, Daniil Medvedev at $11.8 million. Number 7, Ashley Barty at $13.1 million. Number 6, now I read this one, I said it has to be sponsor related. I looked it up, it was, but nonetheless. K, Ninja Man, Superfly Collar, Nishikori. Made $32.1 million last year. However, $31 million was from sponsors.
Wow.
Number 5, Serena Williams, $36 million.
Yeah.
Number 4, Naomi Osaka, $37.4 million, with $34 million of that being from sponsors. Number 3, Rafael Nadal at $40 million. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Novak Djokovic at $44.6 million, with $32 million of that coming from sponsorship. Final one, does anybody guess who the final one is? Number 1, Roger Federer.
And he killed everybody.
Destroyed everybody. Roger Federer at number 1 made $106 million, or $106.3 million, with $100 million in sponsorships alone. Holy shit. Now,
There's no way his kids will ever be tennis champions nor tennis players. Why would they?
why? Yeah.
Why?
Roger Federer makes more than Cristiano Ronaldo, the
Wow.
soccer
And
player.
he's
Cristiano Ronaldo makes 105 million per year. Lionel Messi makes more than him. Messi made 104 million last year.
the two soccer guys, yeah.
Neymar, another soccer guy, made 95.5 million. LeBron James made 88.2 million. Roger Federer is the highest on the Forbes list of highest paid athletes. He is number one.
Who has the most expensive lifestyle, you think?
I don't know.
I'll go with the soccer players.
Now, here's where it even gets better. Roger Federer gets snubbed himself by his own hometown fans and some politicians. I'll explain. There's a tournament, and you guys probably read this, but there's a tournament in Basel, Switzerland, that Federer has played and won like a gazillion times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times has Federer won that tournament in Basel? Isn't it like Basel something? But I think he's won it like what?
Too many
12,
times.
13 times or something?
Too many times.
Anyway, I may be wrong. He's won it a lot of times. So they have a stadium court there, and the stadium court is named St. Jacob's Schall. St. Jacob's Schall. Jakobshalle. St. Jacob's Schall.
Mm-hmm.
So Roger Federer and I guess his brand and some other surely people are and with his crew, we're trying to push to have the stadium court
10. He's won 10. Maj,
Good
10.
call.
Thank you, Maj.
Thank you, Maj. Much love to you for that. That is comment of the day. Knowledge drop. There has been a push for them to change the stadium to Roger Federer Arena. Now, this motion. There was a motion at this place, at this facility. There was a board, right? There was a motion to change the name to Roger Federer Arena. They needed 3,000 votes for it to pass. I don't know how many people were. Usually it has to be a majority vote for something to be motioned forward. So let's say if they needed 3,000 votes, there was probably 6,000 people, and that would be 51%. So therefore the majority. So I'm assuming based upon they needed 3,000 votes, I'm only assuming that they had 6,000 total voters, but I may be totally wrong there. But they needed 3,000 for it to pass and the name to change from Sir Jacob Schall to the Roger Federer Arena.
They should have changed it.
The motion goes forward.
They should have changed it.
And it did not pass. It didn't even come close to passing. They only got 1,800 votes of the necessary 3,000. Now, when the population of a sample, if you've ever taken statistics, I had to do it in college for a couple of years for my major, and it was a real shitbag. But nonetheless, it does help. So if you have a population of 6,000 and you need a sample therein, 1,800 is a really small proportion if you're looking for a majority. But anyway, especially if it's Roger Federer, crying out loud. So it did not pass. So there obviously was journalism trying to find out what the hell went down in that meeting, right? Mm-hmm. So a couple of politicians and a couple others not politically inclined, but part of the tournament as a whole made some anonymous statements that basically, what are you laughing at?
It's a Fed show today. Let's go.
So,
I feel like it's the Federer show today.
So,
he's not even playing tennis.
Yeah, it's all right. We're all right. So a couple of these people alluded to basically the same. This isn't a quote from anyone, but basically the flavor of all of their comments. Different people that basically said the same thing, saying things such as, "We only rename stadiums at this facility and other places in Switzerland, number one, if the person is already dead." So they have.
Sorry, Fed, you're not dead.
Okay, you're not dead yet.
No.
However, the second most common response to that, the first answer seemed the obvious, to remain dignity to whoever was talking. Well, we only do it here if they remain dead. I guess, yeah. Thank you for asking.
With all that money Federer has, he couldn't get the stadium named after him, even though the guy's won the tournament 10 times.
Okay, but the majority of these people that said this, which is the polite thing to say. If you ask me if some girl walks up, she's like, "Do I look fat in this dress?" "No, you're good. You're good. It's all good." It's kind of like, you got to be dead. You got to be dead. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Okay, but the second most popular comment that I came across was, "We all know," this is basically a quote here. Mm-hmm. Some of these people were saying, "Well, we all know that Roger and his brand only want money. People inside his own country were saying, I'm not making that up, look it up. So the top two things is we didn't change it because you're not dead. And number two was, well, we know they only just want their brand and their brand wants to make money. And that was it.
Sure. Well, it's a good end. Good for them for standing up to Mr. Federer.
Woo.
But honestly, I think you would have gotten more people in your tournament if you would have changed that name to Federer. So I think that you will lose out.
You think so?
I think so.
You think it was the Roger Federer Open?
I think they should have just done it.
But they weren't trying to.
I mean, they should have just done it. The guy's won it 10 times. It's a small ass tournament.
It'd
It'd be different if it's the French Open or the Australian Open. Roger Federer wanted his statue or something, or the court named after him. Then I would have to say no.
That was the court. They don't want the tournament renamed after. He just wants the stadium court.
You could have just put the name Federer. What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But people thought it was
Rafa.
a big deal.
They should put Rafa's name in one of these tournaments in clay. I mean, he deserves it.
They weren't trying to rename the whole tournament. It was just the stadium court.
So they made a big deal out of it. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, we good?
Blind Fury says they will have to name main stadium at the French Open after Nadal.
They're gonna have to.
Agree.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
I agree.
I mean, yeah.
Gene says I think they should make a statue for Nadal or the name of the street after him in Paris. Agree.
Yeah.
Michael Walker, not when he isn't winning and he gets disappointed. True. Federer, I think Federer's a big crybaby. I still do. I'm sorry. I know there's some tournaments going on. We know Nadal. Some of you guys, wait until you try to tell me, but while I beat you to it, Nadal is playing the Paris Masters, which is going to happen in the 2nd of November.
Doesn't he have points to defend there?
No, well, he wasn't going to play any tournaments, but Djokovic is not playing that one because he doesn't have to defend his points.
Yeah, I think Djokovic is playing Vienna to answer
which
for that.
is only a 500.
But I think
because he wants to remain number one.
Yeah, he wants to remain number one.
He wants to remain number one.
So he needs the tournament.
That one's happening on October 26th. So Nadal, maybe he could put another Masters. Maybe he really cares about the records.
There's no need.
Maybe he cares about the records, and he just says he doesn't.
I get why Djokovic wants to pick up Vienna because there's a big record that us tennis fans follow. The general masses of sports fans don't that just like tennis. But the total of weeks at number one throughout a career, whether it's consecutive or how many just added up throughout your career, if you come and go.
So he reached the semifinals last year, so he could add another Masters. No Fed there, there's no Nadal. He should win it.
Paris Indoors is in a Masters 1000. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know Djokovic's playing Vienna.
When does that
start?
start?
Girls are playing Ostrava. Which one?
Paris Masters. When does that start?
November 2nd.
Let's go. We'll have to do it.
You guys were talking about Felix. Felix loses to Zverev at Cologne, so Zverev wins his 12th title.
Well,
and he's been 12-0 in finals. I mean, someone said there was a mental block there, but again, he's still young. He's still got to get a lot of experience. Doesn't mean anything. Zeverev's got a mental block in Grand Slams.
We were at your dad's cooking the other night, and your dad and I and you were there actually. We're talking about Felix right there, and your dad said it perfectly. He still kind of acts. Or at least looks like him when he's looking into his eyes, watching him play, that he still sees a little boy in him, some boyishness in him. And I still see that same type of look in Zverev. I think Zverev, has a couple of years on him. What's he, a year or two older or 3 years older now? So, they're still kind of a little boyish, but I think a little bit more mature on court. And that's saying a lot for Zverev, but I think the better player won there.
Yeah, the guys, that's his 12th title. Eventually Felix will win one day. We also know that Rublev beats Coric at St. Petersburg.
Rublev's a grinder. If Rublev can put on maybe 15, 20 pounds of muscle in a good way and thicken out, I think he'll have a chance to...
Tell me his nickname, Gene. What's the nickname for Rublev? Let me hear this. He said he's got a nickname for him.
We like nicknames.
Vampire. He's got that face.
I don't know. I haven't thought about nickname for him.
Rublev is a big Rafa fan. Yeah, I know. He says vamos all the time.
Good for him. I know they wear similar outfits too.
Girls are playing at Ostrava right now. There's a tournament going on. Did you know that? Women's.
There was something to do.
Any more news about Roger Federer?
Well, again, for 2 days, I just wrote down the best headlines that I could for 2 days.
Baby Rafa, Ruby. Okay, well, I'm trying to hear. Where's the nickname? Banana abuser, because he hates bananas. Laugh out loud.
When he gets them and throws them?
I've never seen that. Okay.
He's a banana abuser.
Okay.
We're going to work for the short term.
All right.
Maybe stick long term.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's a wrap for me.
It's the Fed show has ended. Can't wait to get to the Rafa show next and Djokovic.
Let's go. I don't think it was a very positive Federer circumstance, though.
He won't play the Australian Open, by the way. I've seen the media and stuff. He's like modeling. He's just they had him videotaping him running. I mean, I think it's all show. I think he's here for the money. You know what I mean? For the sponsors, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do I want him to win one more? Yeah.
Of course. We want to see them all win. But again, I didn't really come up with those things on my own. I just kind of put together what I've read for 2 days.
Yeah.
So don't shoot the messenger.
Sure. All right.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Much love. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. You know that would help.
Yeah,
out.
I gotta go send that list out to my student of colleges. By the way, I've realized that even international students are taking away Division III scholarships as well. I just realized that today.
Hey, if you don't do
Division III, there are 11 UTRs trying to get a scholarship for Division III.
Look,
how messed up is that?
We said it earlier. If
that's messed up. Once upon a time, Division III sucked.
If you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah.
Right? It is not the international students'
fault. No, it's not their fault. But
that they can come over.
That's just showing you how tough it's going to get a tennis scholarship. How tough it's becoming.
Look. You can hate me.
You know what 11 UTR is?
That's a beast.
That's like Serena's level.
Okay. You have to congratulate any young male, any young female that has gotten to that point where they're that good at a sport, and we are have our doors open with certain tennis scholarships to allow people that are at that level to come take them. There's no reason. Look, it's like your UTR score is like an SAT or an ACT. You know, the dean of the college or the banks that back them, they can't meet 100,000 people and find out if they're good people or bad people. They just want to give out their taxable scholarships. They get it back into taxes at the end of the year. It's a business. Scholarships are a business, but they do want the best results from the scholarships given. Number one, hey, what better to have a pro tennis player on tour saying, I went to Georgia Southern, whatever.
Even community colleges. Community colleges. So they are giving away those to the highest UTR. I was shocked because this didn't exist about 5 years ago. You know, they were Division I.
Well, I understand.
But you know what else is going on too? That a lot of the Division I and Division II tennis programs are being cut.
Completely. They don't even exist anymore.
So that means it's leaving less options. So for all you U.S. juniors, if you're watching, work your ass off. Because you're not going to get a scholarship if you're not working your ass off.
But think about it from like your credit score. So we have a credit score here in the U.S. and some places don't have this. I don't know. But we have a credit score. You know, if you don't pay your bills, you get a shitty score. If you pay your bills, it goes up and you're more credible, right? The UTR score in a tennis player is similar to your credit score or your ACT score. If you're offered a scholarship and they're giving out, say, 20 of them or 15 of them or 5 of them, whatever, they want to make sure they're going to get their money back in a sense. And they're not going to go meet you. They're not going to go hang out with you and meet your family and find out if
they don't do that anymore.
They're looking at your ACT score. The higher it is, correlates statistically with being more intelligent. The tennis score, hey, if I got a UTR of an 8 and I got one that is a 12, of course I'm going to give it to the 12 because that's going to help me with my school and my athletic department. It's not the international students' fault that American tennis, outside of the women, for the most part. But
yeah, it's mostly the guys. The women's is reachable. But the guys is tough.
It's not the college's fault that especially the American side of college tennis is all international because everyone is self-absorbed and worried about themselves and the latest gear and everything else. We've talked about this a ton. So it's not the players from afar's fault. It's the players here's fault. And that comes from lack of work, lack of focus, just like we talked about with Anisimova and a boyfriend. So hopefully that doesn't follow through. But it's not their fault.
No, not their fault.
It's the players' fault.
I'm just saying.
Don't hate the college.
Hate it. I've been going through lists right now and trying to help out a student. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Give me the 12 all day over the 8. I don't care where they're from. I'm a coach. I need to win or I'm going to lose my job. So give me the best players so I can win a national championship. That's how I look at it as a coach. I don't care as long as you're not a thorn in my ass in the locker room, as long as my players are happy and everybody gets along and we can break bread and drive on the bus and hang out and shack at the hotel room and not get in trouble, my life's gravy. But if I got some dipshit on the team that's a bad apple or whatever, he's out. Yep. Get lost. Period.
All right.
All right. All right, guys. Take care. Much love. See you later.
Bye-bye.